reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network. Hello everybody and welcome to Wildstar Reporter and MMO Reporter's Guide to Crafting in Wildstar. We are going to take a look at crafting. I've got weaponsmith and cooking on this one, and it gives me a great overview of what the different crafting mechanics are in the game. So this is the tech tree look, and it's actually my favorite part of the crafting in Wildstar. Really gives me, as someone who's not a huge fan of crafting, a directed experience. And I can work my way through the tree as I level. And as you can see, there's different levels, different tiers of crafting here. All the way from, you know, novice all the way to super duper mega cool crafter dude. And in each of those, the way these tech trees work, it's kind of interesting. You finish up each of those boxes to work your way down, and when you finish them, you can get a new recipe. You might get a talent point, which we'll talk about in a little bit. You get something, some sort of reward for finishing that. And each one of those boxes could be making 4 great swords of ass-kicking or something like that for weaponsmithing. So it's really interesting. And then there's a quick look at sort of the top-end great sword that I can build. It is, like I said, really, really cool to work through the tech tree. Much simpler than I find going through schematic. But if, unlike me, you like going through recipes, schematics as they're called in Wildstar, you can do that as well and go through, and you can show locked schematics, which ones you don't have yet, and you can also have it set to only show ones that you can build, that you have the materials for. So a lot of flexibility there so that you're not wasting time as you're going through the crafting. So as you can see, I've worked my way through the novice weaponsmithing tree, worked my way down through that different tech tree, through some of the different spaces, and as you can see, I built a whole bunch of those to unlock one of those. Now we're going to take a look at how to work your way through the next step. So I have got a recipe here that I'm going to build, and if I make 4 of those things, then I unlock a new recipe. Either something for the stalkers or for the espers there. Also in the middle there you can see there's a salvage tech tree line as well, so as I'm salvaging stuff I can go through there. So you can see when you don't have the materials or you don't have the recipe yet, it shows you the locked one there as I'm going through. That's useless, I can't do anything with that yet. Like I said, we'll talk about the talent trees in just a little bit. Alright. Let's get building. So I gotta build 4 of these things, but I'm missing something here. Now, all of the crafting stations actually have a vendor right nearby, and some of the different items that you might need for crafting are available from that vendor, so you don't have to go very far to get it. Now, they do drop in the world as well, but I don't find that they drop at a rate that's good enough to really seriously go through your crafting. Just at a rate that's good enough to mitigate some of the expense of going through the crafting. So if you want to power level through the crafting, expect to spend some dough. So here we go. I've got all the materials I need. I click on the Start Craft button. I add a core. I've already got part of it in there. And you have some flexibility in what you can do with the different materials. So I'm going to add a core here. And then I'm going to pick one of the different attributes that I want to focus on for this particular build. I'm going to pick tech here, and then I can add some charge. Now, as you can see here, I'm adding charge to maximize it, but as I get near the top, there's an increase in chance of failure. There you go, 1% chance of fail. That does change as you go through crafting. It's not the same for everyone, so you can't just max everything out. Let's try see how it goes here. How do I do? Hey, success. Now for that one particular level of the tech tree, I do need to make 4 of those, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to recraft that. Do that again, and I'm not really focusing on too much here because I am doing it just for the experience. I'm leveling up through my crafting. I don't need any of these, so I don't really care what stats the item have anyway, because I'm either going to sell them or I'm going to salvage them, so it really doesn't matter. All right, now that that's done, I'm going to build another one here. And we'll speed through this process here. I need to do pretty much exactly what I just did there. There we go. As a reward for that, I get a brand spanking new recipe unlocked. I can keep working my way down through the tree here, make some different weapons, some of which are useful to me, of course. I'm a warrior. Not all, though. So that's a general overview, and most of the crafting professions themselves are like that, although there are a couple of different ones. Now, here's the talent trees that you can get. And as you unlock talent points going through the tech tree, you can get different rewards for that profession, as you can see here. It's a different way to do it, and as you get more proficient in that particular way, in that particular crafting profession, you get better at it. So if you go back and make some of the older stuff, you can make it better, quicker, etc. And I haven't seen this in many games before. It's almost like a talent tree for your character, but now it's for your crafting profession. So it's worthwhile exploring the breadth of the tech tree and all the different things that you can do. You can see the little stars on there are ones that give you talent points for going through them. Now we're going to take a look at cooking. And cooking is a different type of crafting profession. It is a hobby, really, but it works a little bit differently. And you can see here as I pick the recipe that I'm going to build, I think I'm going to build some jerky here. And you don't just add things like normal. As you start your crafting, you can see as I do here, you'll have a whole bunch of different ingredients that you can add to your recipe. And these each cost a little bit, just chump change amount of money. And you can see they add a target to the screen. And your goal is to get within that blue area on the screen with the different ingredients that you add to the ingredients you already have to have. You do have materials that you need to make this recipe. I think it was tough meat or something like that for the jerky here. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to add one. And then all of the other ingredients that I add are going to start with the other ingredient as their new center point. So it moves everything around, and I gotta keep it in the blue here, so I really have to be careful about which ones I choose. So I'm a little bit out, okay, so I gotta get back in which ingredient is gonna help me here. There we go, choose that one, that should get me back in. Oh, that would do better though. So you choose the different ingredients, and then you go over and you hit your craft button. And just like any other crafting item, it takes time to craft it, and there you go, you've got it. So there's a few different crafting professions. Cooking is one. I think the architect is another, where you're working on this sort of targeting system for your crafting. But you can't start making stuff if you don't have the materials, so some of the stuff is locked. The other thing is that the crafting tech tree, the cooking tech tree, sorry, is set up in such a way that some of the boxes that you have to fill, some of the different nodules in the tech tree, are actually for getting recipes. It's not just all about making stuff. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the Wildstar crafting system. I like the tech tree system. To me, that really adds some direction for me. I think it's going to be a lot easier for me to max out my crafting skills, feel like less of a grind when I do have that instruction manual in front of me. Now, what I don't like about it, though, is that as I do have to make a whole bunch of these different crafting recipes, I can't set it to make several of them at once. And I think that's a real downside to it, and it's going to really disappoint those who like to craft a lot, because you have to make things one at a time. and that to me is quite annoying. That's the biggest downside, other than some of the mats are a little hard to come by, not incredibly so. You've got, of course, your regular gathering professions and crafting professions, mining, you know, flower gathering, etc. But overall, it's something that is very, like much of Wildstar, is very, very familiar, while adding a few new flares that make it a little bit better than what was there before. Thanks a lot for watching the video, everyone. I hope that you've enjoyed our crafting overview. Check out all of the podcasts at MMOreporter.com, including Wildstar Reporter. And of course, you can check out all of our other videos at youtube.com/MMOReporterNetwork. Thanks, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video. And of course, I hope to see you in game.